own shots.
Hello and welcome to the Mayor's Update.
Good.
It's Tuesday already.
Yeah.
This week's going pretty well.
Time goes by
Has
fast.
anybody noticed it rained a lot?
Yes,
Oh,
I noticed
Geez, I
that.
got a little wet again today,
2 days.
just dodging from a car to inside. So
Yes.
it's been an incredibly good week. We have a guest.
We have a very special guest. We have Richard Andrews, my father-in-law. Now, he's actually gotten together with a team of people to reinvigorate the Terry Fox Run in St. Thomas.
Good evening, everybody, and we thank Mayor Preston for giving us time to update you on the Terry Fox Run that will happen on September 15th. And yes, we're looking forward to getting involved with it and hope we have a good turnout. And I think it's very important to keep his memory going. And,
Clearly one of the most famous Canadians, certainly.
I'm going to take that banner down there so you can see you're actually wearing a shirt there.
I'm wearing a shirt of the new 2024 shirt is no matter what, and it sort of explains all the obstacles Terry went through. And we're going to present Mayor Preston with a shirt.
Wow, I got a shirt too. All right.
We hope you will.
Oh, in the back?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And
okay, I'm
enjoy
ready.
wearing it. And
I'm ready.
it'll be great.
This is great. Look, we had a very successful Terry Fox Run in our area for a number of years.
Yes.
But it did kind of fade away a little.
Yes, 2011, I think it faded. But I remember going to lots of early ones, and yes, always a very good crowd and often good weather. And yes, I think, we all have people that relatives or friends that have been touched by cancer. And
yes.
I think Terry did a great thing. He raised a lot of money and was glad to do it. And went through some hard times on the road too, but he kept at it. And
well, it was a tough go and a tough ending to Terry's marathon. But I'm glad the memory of Canadians continues to talk about it and make a huge difference in the search for cures of different cancers.
Yes. Yes, and it does take a lot of money for research, and and it all goes to the cancer research. And so yes, we hope we'll
tell us some of the details. It happens when? It happens where?
It happens September 15th, which is a Sunday. It's usually on Sunday. It will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Well, 8:30 really for opening remarks to get started. And it will be at Pinafore Park, and there'll be some different distances. People can, do a kilometer.
Right. Nice poster. Very good.
Yeah.
Look, Grayden.
This is what I really
is even
I missed
better
my
when
calling.
it blocks Grayden out. No, I'm just,
But it's not a race.
you can't find a better place than Pinafore Park
No.
to from its own serenity or its own vibrancy in our community. So, and there's a lot of different distances and stuff you can do in Pinafore Park. And I know that your poster says cycle or run or unicycle or So
open to seniors, runners, and
seniors.
Yeah, open to all ages.
Oh no, great! I know some people go out and treat it like a marathon and go as fast as they can and do what they can do, right?
Yep.
And there's also those are stroll. Those that'll take their pups and take them for a walk.
Yes,
right. So
dogs
it still
are
works.
welcome, and they don't actually have to.
Remember the idea.
Yes.
Get a few sponsors and raise some money for Terry Fox. It's a nice exercise if you can get it.
Yeah.
But it really is. The purpose is about raising money for cancer research.
Yes.
And we had Bill Viggers on last year talking about Terry Fox and the book that he wrote, because he had some really special stories to share with everybody.
Well, no, I think there is that St. Thomas connection too. And Bill Viggers was a big part of the run, and I think drove the van and kept Terry kind of motivated, and so So
let's reinvigorate the St. Thomas connection.
Yes,
the Elgin and St. Thomas connection to the Terry Fox Run. September 15th, early in the morning. Or mid-morning. You don't have to be there right at the beginning. Just come later and do your walk.
That's right.
Do your run. Do your roller skating.
Whatever you want to do.
What else you're doing to get around the park?
Jog,
you
dance. If Lily was doing it, she would dance, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there would be some dancing.
Yes.
Yes, at all ages. have a baby in a baby carriage. That works out good.
Grayden and I will make sure we continue to remind people from now through September 15th that it's coming up. And do you need help on that day? Is there any volunteer help the group would need or could need? Is there anything else that the City of St. Thomas people can do for you?
Well, I think help would be welcome. We will have snacks and refreshments donated by some of the stores, and again, help would be good to have help to hand them out, and so if they wanted to call, I guess would be the best thing, and the number they could call is 519-520-6374. That's my good wife Susan's cell.
519
520
520
6374.
6374.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just sharing that in the chat there.
Yeah. Cool. Well, then I hope this is a good start.
I noticed Lily said hi.
Yeah. She did, yes.
Oh, yes.
That's my daughter, your granddaughter.
My granddaughter.
Yeah, well, I don't think she was talking to you. It says hi, Papa. So
No.
Well, again, I'll say I hope this is a good start, and I hope it will continue for years to come.
Well, let's get it really back on track.
Yes.
And let's really show the St. Thomas proud in the Terry Fox run that we can.
Yes.
And Richard, we thank you and all of your team for putting us back together and really helping.
Well, and thank you for good exposure and getting it out there, and I think it should be fun, and it will be fun. And I'll just mention my granny, who lived in Elmer, but her three favorite Canadians were Terry Fox, Frank Mahovlich, and Pierre Trudeau at the time. And she had pictures of them in her kitchen, and
in their day they were each famous, right?
Well, they were, but Terry Fox,
number 27 was
it's true.
Frank Mahovlich was a pretty good one too. But look, across all sectors, Terry became more famous to Canadians, I think.
Yes.
He wasn't political. He wasn't sports related, although, boy, what an athlete he had to be to do what he did.
He sure
did. It's just about the compassion and willpower. I'm going to do this. And that was, I'm sure there was some real lonely times out on Terry's run too. Right. So it's great to really reinvigorate it here in St. Thomas and do our best.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think it's very important, and we look forward to it, and I hope other people will look forward to it and show up, and just kind of make it a day to remember too, and hopefully it goes on for many years, and but yes, I think it's very important, and I think maybe there was a bit of more interest last year with Bill Viggers, a local St. Thomas. Local guy that grew up in St. Thomas, and he was the van driver, and he wrote a wonderful book, and I think that sparked some interest. And but no, we're wanting to make it work, and hopefully make some new friends over there.
It's great.
Yes, and thank you to the city for helping us, and we'll get some posters around the city, and it seems like a little ways off now, September 15th.
You don't know how fast that goes because it's summer. We all have so much going on.
That's right. And August is the quickest month of the year. I think it goes by so quick.
Yeah. And if you want to register, in the description on Facebook and YouTube, you can click on the website link there to register a team.
So get your teams in now. Don't forget to get it done as early as you can, because then that will stretch out the amount of time you have for fundraising.
Yes, exactly.
To get out and get your team to make money. Is there goals?
And we'll have T-shirts for sale and some other items.
Other fundraising methods, right? Well, look, we could just pick their pockets when they're there. That'll work.
That's right. No. And the money raised from the sale of T-shirts will stay in this area.
Perfect. So, excellent.
And we can all use.
And they're good-looking T-shirts.
I think they're very good-looking.
Yeah. So very snappy.
Yeah, nice colors, and they fit well, and so yes, they know how to do a good thing, I think. And Terry Fox, the foundation still gets no personal money back, and everything goes into research, and so they have a good committee too that looks after it. And Terry Fox, I guess that's one of the things he said. He did not want to add. He didn't want anything paying for advertisement, or it's all
volunteers,
all fundraising,
done as fundraising.
Yeah, nobody will make money off it except the cancer research. So
perfect,
great.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Grayden. Good son-in-law.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Preston.
I just do what he says. He's
he runs the city. Really.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah. We give him his own key to get into City Hall now. So
I said that's a pretty big honor when you get the key to the city.
Yeah.
It's not really a key though. It's a fob.
It's a fob. Okay. It's the modern version of the key to the city. Okay.
All right. We're going to run to commercial break. We'll be right back. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Everyone join up.
Thanks for the time.
Yep.
Great.
Are you looking for a one-of-a-kind gift for a family member, friend, colleague, or long-serving community member? Then look no further. I can create the perfect piece of art to bring joy into their lives. Fire me an email at grayden@langstudios.com or give me a call at 647-269-4415. I look forward to talking to you and creating a unique piece of art that will be treasured for years to come.
You and I, we were meant to be. I feel it in my soul. Feel it in my soul. Never
So that nobody comes up here and visits.
No.
Hey. Oh, we're back. You know what? Commercial breaks aren't long enough on Mayor's Update.
Yeah, we're going to add in some more commercials. We've got some coming, so we're going to add them in.
And that helps us put the show on. It helps us do the way we do this and share with you what's happening in our community and share with you the ability to ask us questions.
Yeah, and we have a new sponsor, the Middle River Music Festival, that's come on board.
Music festival. All right.
And it's a great festival, happens down at Common Ground Farm in Elgin County on August 24th. Tickets are $35. You can follow them on social media at Middle River Music Festival, and go to the website for all the details, and it's listed there on that banner there.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Right.
It's great.
What a great place to visit. What a great place for a music festival. And, being part of Mayor's Update doesn't hurt them either.
No, not at all, right? It's the place to be. That's what I hear.
We will continue to tell you more about Middle River Music Festival as we move through towards about a month from now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. And then a lot happened at council last night.
That was a fun council meeting. We only have one in July each year, and we only have one in August. So last night was July's, and boy, we can't quit doing the city business just because it's July. So we had a public meeting last night about the two subdivisions planned on Sandy Montiel. We had a very good open session, very detailed open session at council, and then a fairly long closed session too. But a lot of talk right now, which always is a bit of a gauge of how we're doing. The Committee of Adjustment gets busier. Now these are. It's not a major committee, but it does major work in every community. I want to put up a new deck, but I'm within 4 meters of the back fence, and I'm only allowed to be 5 meters from the back fence. So it has to go to Committee of Adjustment.
Right, that seems complicated.
But it's a group of citizens who review this and say, in your case, it makes sense. Let's say yes, or no, we can't allow that. And for the most part, they're pretty generous. I want to make my driveway 7.5 feet wide or 7.5 meters wide instead of 7. Is that okay? And the concern is how does it affect your neighbors? And if you go out and talk to your neighbors and it's okay with them, it's probably going to be okay with the Committee of Adjustment. But it's just another thing that helps us know that things are getting busier around town. Renovations are happening. Things are happening. And of course, the summertime is a busy time for that anyway. But what else have we got from last night?
Well, sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
I won't do all of these, but we did a declaration of compliance with Valley View Home for the Aged last night. The Valley View Home is a city-operated facility, but under a new piece of legislation to ensure that they're all running properly and there's some final way for the patients and the families of patients to always have a way to resolve things. Our council took on becoming the council for Valley View too. So last night we established that compliance and passed that in. We got a lot of work going on in our pollution control plant over the next 2 years. Not the new one, but the other one, the old one, odor control and fine-tuning the facility. And so we passed a couple things last night that had to do with it.
Well, I thought, and speaking of that too, they were talking about timelines.
Yes.
And people are concerned with the timeline, which makes sense. And they're asking, when is it going to be done? It's going to be done, I believe they said in 2026.
A little bit started in this year. The planning's been all done. And so what we gave last night was the ability for the company that did the planning to now do the work. We said, you're the right group for this. And so it really is over the next 2 years, some expansion of the facility itself, some other new ways of controlling odor at the plant so that it doesn't ruin your summer barbecue in the neighborhood. And so, and it's a very expensive process to make your pollution control plant work. It's also a very expensive process to work on it. You can imagine the last 2 days with the rain we had. You can't have the pollution control plant all torn apart and then not be able to handle the flow through. So it's about planning and doing it right. What else? We had municipal funding agreement with Canada on housing funds. So they're helping us again this year with some more housing funds. And we'll tell you more about what that housing is as we finish that planning. Community grants last night. We had one come in from the Arts and Music Festival that's taking place mid-August in Pinafore Park. And they had asked for $3,500. Discussion at council was, because that's our maximum, but it's a 4-day festival, so council decided we would double that last night. It was a little less than their total ask, but we said another great big festival in our community is not a bad thing for our council to invest in. So we did that too. Number of other heritage alteration permits in our downtown. We have a heritage designation on the downtown itself, which includes the Railway Museum and Queso Station. And there's a couple things being done, some windows and some other stuff. So they all have to come through the Heritage Committee as to are they the right window frames and whatever else. There's this new exit door being put in at the request of our fire department at the Railway Museum. But yes, they all have to come through. And so they did last night. And then a number of other petitions and communications, one on the International Overdose Day, our Oktoberfest that we hold in the downtown, September 21st is a significant event. So we said yes to that. Other letters from the Municipal Affairs Minister or from the Minister of Energy thanking St. Thomas for some of the work they've taken on in battery storage facilities and other works that we're doing. That's pretty much all we got done in open session last night. It seems like, boy, I went through it really quick tonight.
You did. It was a really good meeting. I want to throw it back to the Music and Arts Festival. I thought it was really great the way the city decided to provide additional financial support by waiving some of the fees.
Well, I thought you would like this because it isn't a total cash donation to them. Some of it's the use of our park, and the cost to a festival for 4 days of rental of Pinafore Park is
a significant chunk
of money. So what they're asking for was some money, but also for us to waive some of those fees. So we kind of met them halfway on each of those. But I thought with a lot of conversations we've had in the past, we want more festival type activities. And we just talked about about another festival here, and we just talked about the Terry Fox Run. Yeah. These types of things happening in our community are good things, and we want to try and help support them wherever we can. And that was a good look. I think I've shared my views on city grants. No one ever asked me to give away city money to other projects. They just didn't. But if we are going to give it away to festivals, then that's a good thing to do in my mind. The occurrences that will happen in our community. I know a couple of weeks ago we had talked about a Rib Fest on here. And so those are the types of things we think we should support as a council too. If we get requests, we can do them, right? What else we got? So then we
haven't talked about Nostalgia Nights yet.
No. Holy cow. Was anybody at St. Thomas not downtown on Saturday? because it
seemed like everyone was there.
I got downtown just before 2:00 in the afternoon because we really like to get the cars parked and stuff and kind of get started at 4:00. So I thought I'm going to give myself a couple of hours. Of course, by the time I got down here at 2:00, so many people with classic cars were already parked on the street, and so many people are already downtown watching them. Well, I love to work the information booth, and we had some T-shirts for sale from the Nostalgia Night, so I worked that booth all night and really talked all day, which I do professionally, and till 9:00 at night, past 8:00. So, it was. I don't know. We're estimating
all the cars, the groups.
Yes,
phenomenal engagement there.
Well, I'm guessing over 5,000 people for sure. I would say we could say anywhere from 5,000 to 7,500. How many people were downtown? Because it's hard to count, right?
Yeah, there's got to be some way where we can count the people.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do it.
There are estimators that do this. You take a still picture with the drone or with the lift, and then you say, and that was in what period of time, and then you can estimate what it would be from the start to the finish, and then I'd say over 2,000 classic cars.
Yeah,
I mean, there was just I'm not much of a car enthusiast. I never did. I owned a lot of classic cars, but I drove them so much they weren't worth anything at the end. They'd be classics today's if I'd put them away when they were brand new, right?
Yeah.
But not now, right? But it's just so great to see people care about their cars so much and how much work they put in and how much effort, right? And how anxious they are to come out and show them off. And we really saw the difference this year on a beautiful sunny day versus last year with some rain. I'm not putting my car out in the rain. Yeah. Well, this year there was no place left to park.
No, and the Bombshell Beauties also held their Canadian pinup pageant, their national pageant in St. Thomas, which is fantastic. So people flew in from all across Canada.
It was really
to come to the pageant.
Quite the event, right beside our booth. So it was. I got a good view, and then with the sunshine, we had the only shade. So I had a booth full of Bombshell Beauties most of the day, and made great friends with much of the organization. So just.
Absolutely fantastic. And shout out to all the volunteers for that. Vanessa Buckland, who was organizing chair for that.
Yes. We said she missed a meeting, so we assigned it to her. No, I'm just kidding. It's almost like
she
that.
stood up and she said, you know what, I want to make sure this happens as a part of the Downtown Development Board. And we all said, great.
Well, I talked to a number of businesses in the area where cars were and outside the areas where cars were who said, that may be the busiest day we've ever had.
They were
talk to the taco house across the street. It's just incredible.
The engagement that started to build up with the business is fantastic because at the beginning there wasn't as much engagement, and that's a part of our job as the Downtown Development Board.
Get people out front of their store. Even if if you're a restaurant, that may be easier to do. But even if you're an insurance agent, stand out front and hand out pens or something. Let people know where you're located in our community and what you do for a living. It was just a great way to gather new friends and customers for life. And I certainly continue to meet a lot of people who are new to our community over the last 2 years. I didn't know you was the start of many of the conversations. I didn't know there was this store downtown. I didn't know there was this store downtown. When did that one open?
And if you're walking the street, all of a sudden, sometimes you notice things you don't notice if you're just driving by.
Absolutely. No, you haven't got time to get a good look. Or you might even see the store, but it doesn't quite register but when you're walking by in front of it, you look in and you go, I love that vase. What kind of store is this? Right?
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, we've got a lot of questions. So
right.
We're going to start working our way through. Well,
because we offer the opportunity to ask Mayor questions. So,
so we've got questions and statements, I guess, both here. So Dale Cummings is asking, why were you guys so late? Was Joe still eating his Wendy's burger meal? Lol, just joking. Good evening, guys.
Yeah.
No, this was my fault, actually.
Right. We had a guest tonight, so we had to prepare.
We're prepping a little bit. So just, you want to make sure everything's perfect before you go
live.
We'll
give you your full half hour of Mayor's Update. We just got started a little late.
And then we've got Brett Longfield said he's looking forward to the Terry Fox run. So am I. It's going to be fantastic. Adam Montgomery saying established media is getting intense. He's getting commercials. That's right. Yeah.
We've got to make this so that we can do other things.
That's right.
Through established media or getting the message out about the city.
Doug Exner says, I miss the old train that was in Pinafore Park. Is there a way to bring it back to St. Thomas and hopefully put it in the railway lands as a fun way to experience the new park being developed and help generate some revenue for the Railway Museum.
That would be up to the owners of that property. The people who operated that railway really morphed into, if I'm not mistaken, because I just attended the 40th anniversary of the Port Stanley Terminal Rail, into that group.
That's what I heard.
That now run a real train,
a proper railway
train. But I hear so much about the train in Pinafore Park and how people enjoyed it. Maybe, I don't know. Well, let's keep talking about it. Let's find any group of volunteers, as they've proved with PSTR, as they proved with the Railway Museum, can do anything if they set their mind to it.
Sean Barker says, good evening. Are there plans to expand the airport? Also, are there talks to annex Old Lyndhurst?
There's always talks about what communities can do to work together. Right now, we're St. Thomas and they're Central Elgin, and so we need to continue to work, and we've helped supply water and other things to different communities around us, like Lyndhurst. The airport itself, there's not one plan for an expansion of the airport, but we'll continue to look at the use at the airport and the use of the airport. And if it grows, it grows. But right now, no plans at all.
And Brett Longfield says, thank you, Richard Andrews. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's posted.
We're taking on that big job.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I know. Both him and Susan. Now, Susan was in the background there.
Yeah, Susan
was working pretty hard
sending
together.
us notes.
There's a whole committee there that's all putting that all together.
Yes.
And then Adam Montgomery is replying to Doug Exner. He's saying he still has a coin from the train station in the park, which is pretty awesome.
No, I've heard of much reminiscing about that. Right?
Brett Longfield's asking, what is Sandymount Hill and what is planned being developed there?
Well, the Sandymount subdivision is Wellington on one side, Major Line on the north end, and Sunset Drive down the other side. So you can picture that piece of St. Thomas to the northwest. Kind of crossing Kettle Creek would be a good way to say where it is.
Right. And so if you're going north on Wellington, you look to your left.
Right.
Now, are you going to see some trees that have been taken down?
Well, that's one number of trees have been taken down. That was asked in the question last night. They'll, of course, all be replanted one for one, just like the city bylaw says. But to do construction, they've taken a number down. There's some roads that will go through there. Much development happening, single-family homes, high-density townhouses and such, and some apartment buildings. So getting started on the approvals. So I think you'll start to see some of the road work start this year, and the servicing is there.
Yes. And Kim Messenger is saying, love the pictures at Cannondale's Jurassic Days. So that was with my family, Jess and Lily and me and Louie, and we were all out there.
Live dinosaurs at Cannondale. Who knew?
So great.
Yeah.
Only $10 to get in.
Oh,
like it'd be like $100 anywhere else.
Oh, this is St. Thomas.
I love
25% better.
Love it. Yeah. Montgomery saying, what's the cost to get a commercial grade? So if you wanted to advertise on the Mayor's Update,
right,
and help me fund this adventure, it's $250 a month plus HST. That's
that goes, and we'll talk about you, and we'll say good things about St. Thomas. Yep. That's any business in St. Thomas or any business helping us with this, right? So perfect.
Yeah. Brett Longfield says, what is being done to ensure public infrastructure will be viable for the future amidst not only climate change, but also unprecedented growth in St. Thomas?
Well, as we've shared in a million times on Mayor's Update alone, we've been trying to do smart growth, and we're succeeding. So we're looking into the future as to when will we need another wastewater plant? Where will we need more pipes? With some of the construction that we'd love to complain about in the summer because roads are closed, is not just to put new pavement down and new sidewalks down, but to replace the pipes underground too. That's the type of servicing pieces we're paying a lot of attention to. You'll see over the next 5 to 10 years us working on a lot of roads, whether we're widening them or making them more secure for 40 years into the future. That's exactly what good cities will do and want to do. And this council is feeling great about how it's been able to accomplish it.
It's been incredible to see the amount of work that's going on and so quickly and so well done in St. Thomas. If you go to
you watch Beehive, you watch our construction updates. If you want updates on anything we're doing in town, it's on our website. Take a look at it. It'll tell you what's happening next week. Like this week, we'll start the pavement on the Kane Street section of of the great work they're doing over there and putting a whole new underground in on Kane Street.
Mm-hmm. Ben Nichols says, I see work happening beside Grand Central. Is there plans to develop the land that recently had a building torn down?
Yes. Yes, the company that bought the building, what was the old Municipal World building, I believe, it had a number of city orders against it for bricks falling down, and it was not in great shape. It had to be taken down. They bought it, asked, could we take it down? They've been working well with Grand Central on trying to get a share on some of the parking out back. So the building they build there will be housing a pretty good sized housing building beside Grand Central. Waiting on some permit applications now.
It's perfect. Adam Montgomery is saying, with the city expanding, mayor's update time might need to expand.
Well, we were talking about that. We have to keep it to a half hour to make it fit into our Rogers friends. But we're talking about maybe we used to make it go almost an hour, and maybe we have to find a half hour of it that can be used for one purpose, and another half hour that is maybe more of this. So I'd love it to be. I don't need it to be 2 hours long, but sometimes we run out of time. Right?
Yeah, like we have a lot of questions right now, and we need to get through them. So we're just going to barrel through.
Yeah. Okay.
Ben Nichols says, I want that bicycle festival that got rained out to be rescheduled.
Okay. We'll talk to the organizers, and I will ask them. That was the library group and the tourist association. Some of the people they had involved with it have other bicycle festivals they do, and so then they're off doing a bicycle festival in another community, and then not here for us. But we'll find out. We'll talk about it on Mayor's Update.
Brett Longfield says, looking forward to Railway City Music and Arts Festival. Me too.
Yeah. Well, we're helping all we can.
Yeah. Ben Nichols is saying, need more events on Talbot. Well, I can say that they're in the works.
People are talking about it. We've got Oktoberfest coming up in September 21st, and we'll close a good piece of Talbot Street for it. The Light Up Talbot and Christmas tree lighting, where we close off again another good piece of Talbot Street, and then the Santa Claus Parade closes Talbot Street for another event.
Light Up Talbot.
Light Up Talbot. October, or the Pumpkin Prowl.
No closes for Pumpkin Prowl?
No, but the street is packed. Right, on both sides on sidewalks.
They're talking about closing it for safety. That's
we have good crosswalk monitors, and I heard a bunch more sign up while we're out doing nostalgia nights. So let's hope that works too. But there's lots of things going on. More? Yes. Would you like another event downtown? We're looking for the chair of that other event.
That's right.
We'll gather a bunch of volunteers, and we can do whatever you want if we can get a good team together to do it.
Brett Longfield saying, what is the status of the secondary plan that was required prior to decisions being made regarding the rail lands?
Okay. Well, now that the rail lands has changed hands to Doug Terry for a amount of cash to the Railway Museum, the secondary plan started, the separate secondary plan proposal started that day. So between city staff and the owners, including Doug Terry, the museum, and all of the other business owners, we start the secondary plan now. This will move along fairly quickly, and we'll talk about it on here and in all the other normal places, talk about when public meetings are, so people can come hear what plans might be, or to give ideas of what you'd like your plans to be.
Doug Exner saying, I wanted to thank you for letting my Gilbert family see the old Gilbert homes before they got demolished soon for the Yarmouth Yards project. It was greatly appreciated.
Well, thank you. We had a couple of requests like that, and we knew that progress was going to happen out there, but that doesn't preclude there's some people who had lived there for generations and wanted to see what their land. And now they'll come visit in the future and say, hey, look, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice place.
This is how it started.
Thank you for saying so.
Ben Nichols, will these new subdivisions have any light commercial buildings to offer people some basic amenities within a walkable distance? So we talked about that as well. And it's up to the developers
and the business owners.
Right?
I don't know how you can tell a restaurant owner, for example, or a small convenience store or a small market store, you must go here, right? They will approach developers and say, this is a place with enough traffic, I'd like to be there.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see much more as we grow in size and it becomes a little further than everybody heading downtown, although I sure would love that still to happen, right? That we get a little more commercial on the fringe of our city.
Yes. And Brett Longfield is replying to Ben Nicholson saying, hopefully they will be sustainable, complete, mid-use communities. Then Brett is asking, when will Rogers allow Mayor's Update to run for an hour long again? I mean, we could run for an hour long, potentially on Rogers. I'd have to talk to them about scheduling, but...
That may be another question to ask. Hey, Roger, if we give you an hour show each week, would you use it? Then Grayden and I have to find an extra half hour in our life.
Well, that's, yeah. And also, like, not every week. I know we can definitely get a half hour that's quality.
Right.
But I don't know that we can always get an hour that's full, that's going to be worthwhile for people to watch.
Now, watch this next week coming up. I'm away. I'm trying to take some time off. And we'll do Mayor's Update from me up at the cottage.
Yeah.
Right. But we sometimes have technical difficulties when we take Mayor's Update on the road. We tend to do it here at City Hall because the internet's so good here.
Fantastic, yeah.
But I guarantee we'll try to do it right every week. But I'm with you. Let's find out what we can do. And we just couldn't get the technology to work. Yeah.
No, their internet is not as good as Canadian internet somehow. Beth Douglas is asking, will the seniors picnic get rescheduled?
Yes, it has been rescheduled for, I think, September 17th. Let me open it up here. What's the Wednesday? September 18th. Same place, Pinafore Park. So it's been rescheduled. September 18th.
Perfect. And Brett Longfield's commenting, many hands make light work. Volunteers are the key to success within all the special community events at St. Thomas.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Anne Montgomery is saying, when is the next bit of construction going to start near Bondi's? New sidewalks, roads going up the road to like the Roadhouse, etc.
I think you're a couple years away from that piece of Talbot Street. I think we need to give the Talbot Street merchants another little break. We had COVID and then a huge construction of Talbot. I think that piece that you're talking about from past Ross Street, right, through to the Roadhouse was done not that long ago. Certainly the in-ground, the sewer and water is good there. Nice. And so we won't need to get to the surface for a little bit. Of course, we'd love the whole downtown to match from a sidewalk and width and parking point of view, but let's give downtown a little break for a couple of years.
Absolutely. And as a merchant downtown, I can definitely say that would be appreciated because between COVID and then the construction, like you're trying to do an interview, in your studio and you've got all the construction, and then you're like, I think this is the break time. I can get it in, but then they decide they're going to take their break at a different time. And then all of a sudden,
our chief engineer will tell us that we're getting to a point where the pipes are critical. That's what happened. And we couldn't wait another year. So we did it.
Yeah. And that's where we said it's better that somebody doesn't fall through and down into the old waterway that was brick.
Yeah. The sewer underground was incredibly old.
Yeah. I think your customers would probably not like that very much.
Right.
Just my ideas. Kim Messenger saying, don't forget PAW Festival in Pinafore Park this Saturday, $5 each.
Yeah, PAW Festival's going on, and there's a puppy parade on the Friday night, and the movie in the park, I think, is Paw Patrol on Friday night.
That's right.
So we got a dog connection that's going on this weekend. I can't make it to the PAW Festival, but please, everybody get out and help support the people who help animals in our community. Mm-hmm. And the Friday night one is about raising some of the funds towards the new animal shelter too. So, all right, let's please. I know that Ruben and Soleil and Jojo are looking forward to Friday night.
Brett Longfield saying, what are the full details of the sale of the portion of rail lands acquired by Doug Terry Limited, and how will the community be affected?
Oh, it's all perfectly in the press. Take a look. I think there's been no hiding what the amount was that the Railway Museum received from Doug Terry, including a $200,000 grant to the museum on top of the funds that he paid for the land, and also $36,000 towards a museum consultant organization to help the museum move forward. So the public record on the land sales from both people, the buyers and the sellers. So I'll let them continue to celebrate with you. And from that, the city gets involved in helping design the secondary plan. How will the servicing go? Will there be housing? Will it be parkland? are the other businesses. We're not only talking about the piece of grass in front of the Railway Museum. We're talking about all the businesses surrounding it too. How are they in part of the plan? So as I said, at both of the events, we're going to touch this thing about 100 times between now and the end. So the city is now kind of instigated it. A great community organization has come in and taken the ball and is running with it. Still lots of planning discussion and lots of zoning and other stuff that has to happen.
Dale Cummings says, thanks, guys. Have a good night. Dale, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Brett Longfield saying, what opportunities are there for better use of space at the southeast corner of Talbot Street and Ross Street? And again, that's a privately owned property.
Right. Anything can go there. They just have to come to council with a plan and say, we want to build this. And we will discuss it. Does it fit our official plan and our zoning bylaws? Look, I'd love to see a number of things there, whether it's commercial or tall residential. Well, hey, owner of that property, bring us a plan.
Brett Longfield, how much will remediation of the rail lands cost?
Millions.
Yeah.
We can't until it's decided what it will be. There's different levels of remediation for brownfields and contaminated lands. So if it's going to be, there's parkland standards, there's residential standards, there's industrial standards. There's a number of things that'll have to be decided as part of the secondary plan.
Yeah, I heard a number thrown around. Should I say that number or just
go ahead?
I heard a number of 38 million, roughly.
It's not going to be cheap to decontaminate that land.
Yeah, so it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest you grow tomatoes on it now.
Don't. Well, it's like when I was living in Guelph and I was in the industrial area because it was cheap housing, right? And then I talked to my dad. I was like, Dad, I want to put it in a garden. He's like, oh, where are you putting a garden? I was like, oh, this place in Guelph. And my dad went to Guelph University, right? And he was like, probably don't do that. I was like, well, can't I test that ground? And then
you put 4 feet of topsoil on top of where you're going. You got a chance.
Yeah, but even if you test it, you can't test for all the different contaminants.
No, it is very specialized. Now, developers know how to do this right and what can be done with it afterwards. But there'll be some capping of it still with good topsoil.
A lot of it's just removal. You just get it out
and incinerate it.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Brett Longfield, what is everyone's favorite flavor confectionery at the Icebox?
I have to have a favorite ice cream? Come on. They're all good.
I had a chocolate one that was really good at the Chambers family picnic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I would go with that one.
Sometimes I go, well, what's the weirdest thing in the bin? Okay, I'll take red licorice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I go back to chocolate.
There was like a berry blast one for a while.
No.
Yeah.
You can't get a guy like me to pick a favorite type of food. The food groups, I'm okay.
Burgers?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Right? Yeah. All of the basic food groups by the Canadian Guide.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Well, we've kind of pushed our time
here, so we're going to get cut down a little bit. Find a spot in here. Right.
But great show.
Right. And thank you for all of your questions, and thank you for all your advice on how we might make the show longer or better. We'll work on it.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can
Gosh.
with what we've got. And what we got, like,
we're as good looking as we can be.
We're not going to get much better than this. It's all downhill. That's what I hear.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.